Welcome to Contemplative Living, where we view contemplations for the week to have a better understanding of our spiritual paths. This is Contemplative Living with Dave Bennett, contemplations and reflective meditations. Welcome to another Contemplative Living, where we talk about concepts to bring contemplative living into our everyday lives. Sorry, I might have been a second or two late starting today because I was kind of lollygagging. I love that word, lollygagging. It's kind of, lyrical. It comes rolls right off the tongue. Have you ever been in that space where you're just content? You just feel just like you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Well, that's kind of where I'm at today. And so I've been kind of moving a little slow this morning. But before we get started, I want to read a little something. And this is from Edgar Allan Poe, of all poets. And it goes like this. That pleasure which is at once the most pure, the most elevating, and the most intense, is derived, I maintain, from the contemplation of the beautiful. So that's kind of the theme of what we're going to talk about today. We're gonna delve into our inner love. And so let's get started. All right. So the love we seek must first be the love we find within our deepest level of being. The love we seek must first be the love we find within. That is probably one of the main purposes that we have in this human family, is to find the inner love within ourselves, within our deepest sense of essence. When we can touch, even if we can just touch it for a moment, we have that memory that lasts forever. And once we touch that deep sense of love that is the purity of our essence, it expands our awareness. And it expands our awareness not only for ourselves, but for everyone that we communicate with. So when we can touch that love within ourselves, we're being of service on this earth. And that love fills us and it nurtures us. It gives us so much more than just the everyday circumstances that we find ourselves in. Now, some weeks we have an incredibly frustrating week, and that's fine. That's fine. It happens, but the thing is not to dwell on that, to come back to our divine essence, our center of love, that is who we really are. And when we can do that, we can become the type of person that we want to become. We begin to emulate that love in everything that we do. So leave the past behind and guide your love to reverence and justice. Now, justice in this meaning is truth, because truth resonates within us when our heart sings. That's our personal truth. And when we can live from love within ourselves and use that love as our guidepost, then when we come across a truth that resonates with our heart, our personal truth, then we know that that's a sign of a direction that we need to follow up on, need to move forward with. And when we're doing that, we're working in that state of reverence, of honoring life and honoring where we are in our life. Now, I know a lot of times we're, not where we want to be, but if we follow the signposts, if we follow the paths that our inner being, our love guides us to, then we can move forward down a path that will bring us from a place that we may not want to be into a better place. And that is honoring and reverence in our life. So wouldn't it be great if life was just laid out in front of us? Well, I say that it is. It really is, if we connect again to the centering love that's within us, because that's the power, that's the energy that shows us where to move. So seeking love as a set of outer circumstances will never bring the feeling of completeness and purpose that genuine love will. Now, it's really easy to get wrapped up in circumstances. And these weeks that we're in right now, there seems to be a lot of chaos all around the world. And we are living amongst that. And so we want to find love, right? We want to move in a direction of living a more heart-centered, loving life. Then a lot of times we try to bring that light, we try to bring that into all aspects of our life. But our circumstances a lot of times pull us away from that. And so sometimes our love gets confused and we get a little off track by trying to pay more attention to the outer circumstances instead of elevating our awareness above the circumstances so that we can see and feel more complete and we can flow with our purpose. So when we rise above the circumstances, it gives us a clearer vision, which allows us to then move in a more positive way. So when we think of spiritual renewal, we typically think of it being a sense of abiding peace, joy, and contentment. And that is really close to the truth because we're looking for spiritual renewal. Whenever we get pulled away by the circumstances, whenever we just go through a period in life where we just don't feel connected to the divine, that's when peace, joy, and contentment seem out of reach. That's when we just can't seem, everything feels scattered and we just don't feel like we're in the flow. That's when we need to regroup, come back to the love like we started out talking about, come back to our heart center. Spend time in stillness, reconnecting, reinvigorating our essence, reconnecting to all that we are, and bring that to play, bring that up from our center and allow that to guide us again and bring that renewal. Every time we do that, it's like putting on, like casting off the old personas and putting on a fresh new me and allowing ourselves to just, go out and live our lives. So spirit heals the conditioned mind, revealing purpose and always connected to everyone and everything. I love this because spirit is always present. It's always present and always with us. Spirit helps us to heal from the trauma, from the chaos, and brings us into a space where we can feel contentment. We can feel at peace. Remember, the spiritual renewal is recentering and finding that sense of peace. But when we get there, it reveals many times a sense of direction, a sense of purpose. So we are all in need of healing, of healing our conditioned minds. We're raised in this society to think that, we have to compete with each other, that we have to strive. So, and we see, we're constantly bombarded by messages that put other people down and try to elevate themselves by negativity toward others and things like that. So that conditions our mind that that's okay, and it's really not okay. And the only way to get past that is with a spiritual centering and a contemplative way of living our lives. It's so critically important that we find our center and we move away from that critical sense of ego. Let's balance our ego out so that it understands that we need a drive in life and we need that focus, but we don't need to do it at the expense of anyone else. So, the love we give and share with others adds deep purpose and meaning to everyday existence. This is what it's really all about. I I was listening to some music the other day, and I heard just this one verse, and the one verse said, "Simple things make life worthwhile. Simple things make life worthwhile." Well, the love we give and share with others is as simple as it gets. When we can be there for each other, share our joys, share our sorrows, and be there for each other, that brings some of the deepest meaning and some of the deepest purpose in life. Because we're all here together and we're all striving together, even though it feels like we're these separate individuals. We're really all interconnected and we're all here, and we share some grand purposes of coming to recognize our spiritual nature, but we also have many little purposes in life where we're to give a helping hand to a friend, to elevate someone from the deepest energy levels where they've sunken to. And we can do that. The best way to do that is by sharing our love. And so I think today's message is really, if we want to summarize it all, is about developing that inner sense of love connected to your divine essence, and then allow that to guide your life so that you can help the rest of humanity. I want to thank you so much for coming today. And we've got some shout outs. Let's do some shout outs real quick here. Let me just take this off so you don't see that. Ken's here. Good morning, Ken. How are you? And Chuck, I'm glad to see you're here this morning. I'll give you a call later. I know you had a question for me. Karen, good morning. Glad to see you. And Mary Beth. Wow, we've got quite a few folks here today. All right. Shirley, good morning, Shirley. It's not showing. There you are. All right. And then Susan. and William. Oh my gosh, this thing keeps going. And Jean. Wow, great. Thanks for showing up today. I really love it when you guys connect and shout out. And have a great day. Have a great week. And I hope you find some meaning in today's contemplative living. Namaste.